The rate of unemployment is at a 5-decade low, but worker pay is going nowhere. Wages rose just 3.3% over the past year. Minus inflation, that means almost no wage growth at all. What's going on? It used to be that a very low rate of unemployment caused employers to pay more in order to attract and keep workers. It was a virtuous cycle. Those higher wages increased overall consumer spending, which created still greater demand for goods and services, which in turn pushed employers to create even more jobs. But something very different has been happening. The lowest rate of unemployment in 50 years isn't raising wages. Why not? Because workers have no bargaining power. In the labor market decades ago, more than a third of private sector workers belonged to unions, which strengthened their bargaining power. But today, after decades of union bashing, only 6.4% are unionized. And when there's an uptick in demand today, employers have less reason to raise the wages of their employees. Technology has made it easy for them to outsource work to lower-wage contractors or to workers abroad, and also to automate the jobs out of existence. In many ways, the old sequence of job growth leading to wage growth has reversed itself. One reason we're seeing continued job growth is the lack of wage growth. Because labor costs so little, some employers are finding it cheaper to add jobs than to automate or outsource abroad. So rather than celebrate the lowest rate of unemployment in 50 years, we should be concerned that so many of the jobs being created are lousy ones. Adjusted for inflation, most workers still aren't earning as much as they did in the year 2000. Stagnant and declining wages are bad for everyone, not just the bottom half of the workforce, because the American economy cannot sustain itself unless Americans have adequate purchasing power. Consumer spending is 70% of the economy. Consumers have been able to keep spending, even though their pay hasn't risen, by going deeper into debt. Total consumer debt, including credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, and student debt, is now higher than what it was back in 2008, before the financial crisis. Now, obviously, this can't go on forever. More fundamentally, an economy dependent on stagnant or declining wages for maintaining employment is not a good economy. Americans know this. According to a recent survey, most workers say their current jobs are mediocre, that's 44%, or bad, 16%. 70% believe the economy is rigged to favor people at the top, and they're right. America doesn't have a jobs crisis, we have a good jobs crisis. And the way to remedy it is to expand and strengthen unions, raise the minimum wage, enlarge wage subsidies with bigger earned income tax credits, increase eligibility for overtime pay, encourage employee ownership, and in general, give working people a bigger piece of the economic pie. Over the long term, these steps aren't just good for workers, they are good for America.